So on Wednesdays, it is very guest heavy, but you know something? We love it. We love talking to our partners and our friends here. And this is a face that we all need at 9:30 in the morning to perk us up. It is Lesley Cheesman from Agapé UK. Good morning.
Good morning, Gareth. So good to be with you. I was loving listening to your disco sounds this morning.
Well, it was a rather strange mix, and I always wonder if somebody stumbles upon the radio station by an accident and they hear that random mix of music. I'm not sure how they'll take it if there's no explanation there.
It's something for everyone, Gareth. Something for everyone.
That's it. That's what we'll go with. And talking of something for everybody, you see what I did there with a very clever link? We're talking about language today because is it the word of the year has been announced?
It was announced yesterday. It was the word of the year, and then 10 key words that had been the most used of the year. So I heard you earlier, like you're going to test me. Well, I'm going to test you. This is exciting.
You're going to test me, so I'll let you into a secret. I know the word of the year because I saw it on the news last night, and I sort of know what the meaning is. But if you describe that one, and then we can move on to the other ones.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first word of the year is permacrisis, and it really does sum up. I remember speaking to you about every time I look at the news each week before I come on to chat with you. It's all just like one drama after another. It's like, what a challenging time. So it really describes the time that we live in. So permacrisis is an extended period of instability and insecurity, especially resulting from a series of catastrophic events. That just describes our world, doesn't it?
So that is the word of the year. Now, do you know anything about how they choose these? Who's the panel who select them?
So I don't know who the panel is, but it's part of Collins Dictionary. And I think they basically collate the most used words in social media, in journalism, in just everyday language. What language what languages are people using? So it's both words that have been around for a little while, as well as brand new words that never existed before. So last year's word of the year was vax, because everyone was talking about being vaccinated. So vax was the word of the year last year. So I don't quite know the technicality of how it happens, but it's a very interesting reflection of what's actually going on in our country and around the world.
So let's start with number 10 and work our way up. If you say the word, and there's two reasons I've decided that you're going to say the words, because I can't say them, and also because I thought it would be a bit of fun. So at number 10, what have you got for us?
I feel like I need to do that music, that countdown.
In fact, let's see if we've got any nice music here.
We need some music, Gareth.
We need something, don't we? We could have something referred to here on my system. It says cheerful music. Let's see if this works. Yeah, that'll do.
Great. Well, in at number 10, warm bank.
Warm bank.
Warm bank.
So presumably that's something to do with temperature. A warm bank coming in from the north. Is that right?
No. A warm bank is a new thing. Basically, it's a place where someone can go who can't afford to heat up their home. They can go to a community place to get warm. How amazing is that? So lots of schools and church buildings are becoming places of a warm bank place. Amazing.
Warm bank.
Number 9, vibe shift.
A vibe shift. So that is just a shift of the vibe. So something that's got a positive vibe converting into a negative vibe, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a change in the kind of cultural atmosphere or trends. Okay. So in number 7, 9,
Great.
10, 8. Number 8, sports washing. I can't count. Sports washing.
Sports washing?
Yes.
Is that something to do with cleaning up a game, making it more user friendly? More, I don't know.
It's cleaning up someone's bad tarnished reputation by kind of like washing it with a big sporting event. It's a very weird one. I've never heard of that one.
No, I've not either.
It's such a weird one. Anyway, let's move it on to number 7, which is, I love this one, splooting. You're not going to guess this one.
Splooting.
Unless you've got a dog. If you've got a dog, you'll know what this word is.
Splooting. Okay, so if you've got a dog, you'd know what it... Splooting, is that when a dog wants affection? When it wants to be stroked?
No, it's the act of lying flat with your legs stretched out. So lots of people have taken lots of pictures of their dogs splooting.
Splooting. Never
It's a
heard
great
such
word.
a word. Splooting. Okay, next one.
Okay, number 6, quiet quitting.
Quiet quitting. So that is when you quit and you don't tell anybody that you're quitting.
You just leave.
Out the door. Don't say, I've had enough. It's just basically, which I think people should do more of in meetings. They don't say anything, they just walk out.
Well, I mean, it's similar. So quiet quitting is people, they don't quit their jobs, but they just do the very bare minimum. They decide, I'm not going to give anything more than the bare basics that I have to. I'm not going to do overtime. I'm just going to do the basic and just live my life. Quiet quitting.
When did laziness start being called quiet quitting? That's what I want to know.
It's a good question. It's a good question. Right. What are we at? Number 5, I think?
Yeah, number 5.
Number 5, Partygate. You know this one.
Oh, we know that one. That was when Boris did all the party stuff. So presumably a more general meaning of that would be when you're partying and you're not meant to be partying.
Yes, it's a political scandal over social gatherings.
Okay.
So Matt Hancock's having his own Partygate in Australia right now. Anyway, moving on. Number 4, lawfare. Lawfare.
So is that when the law should be more fair? Lawfare?
No, it's the strategic use of legal proceedings to intimidate or hinder an opponent.
Wouldn't it have been amazing if I just gave you that exact definition off the cuff? Exactly word for word. How shocked would you have been then?
I would have got in the car, driven up and given you a box of chocolates.
Number 3.
Number 3, Kyiv. You know that one.
Well, yeah, it's the capital of Ukraine.
Exactly. But we also use the word Kyiv. We always say the name Kyiv this year. It's just been so significant in our times. And then you do know this one, Carolean. We talked about this one before.
This is the era of King Charles II.
It is indeed.
Carolean.
Carolean. And then
Elizabethan Carolean.
Indeed. And in number 1, we have Permacrisis, which really describes the crazy, crazy time that we live in. But isn't it interesting? I love it when the word of the year comes out, because words are so powerful, and actually they're evolving and they're changing. They're not static. Our language isn't static. And I love, and there's a real power in words, isn't there? So, even this week, the news around how Suella Braverman was speaking about refugees and using words like invasion. It's like we react because words are really powerful, and I love the fact that words can really make a difference in helping us to understand our realities. This is what these words are. They're created because they help us to understand our realities. And one of my very favorite, I think one of those powerful passages in the Bible is John chapter 1, where it talks about Jesus being the Word. He says, the Word, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and he was with God in the beginning. And through him, all things were made. And it's like this powerful kind of image of the power of words, but the power behind words. And I love that picture of Jesus coming as the Word becomes flesh. He helps us to understand who God is. He helps us to understand the world around us, and he helps us to understand who we are. And so I think it's fantastic to think about language that, the Collins Dictionary, it's great. Paul's grandmother used to read the dictionary every day. She used to learn a word every day because of the power of words. And the fact that Jesus is described as the Word is like the most powerful word, I think is amazing.
And that is what Agapé UK do. They help you with this journey. They help you to understand the Christian faith. And it's a great organisation. You can find out they're on the socials. You've got the website, agape.org. Start again. agape.org.uk. They're on the socials. And it's quite a poignant time for you. Tell us about this film, Lesley.
Yeah, that's right. I've talked before about the Jesus film, which we made in 1979, which has been translated. It's the most translated film in history, and we're still translating it into more language because we think it's absolutely vital that people hear Jesus speaking their language, because language is really, really important to us. It's important for connecting with our minds and our hearts, helping us to understand. And so we're really committed to people not having to learn another language in order to hear Jesus speak to them. Just like for us, we only got the Bible in English in 1386, I think it was, when John Wycliffe translated it. For us, English people didn't have the Bible in their language before that. And there are still people today that don't have the Bible in their language, or they can't hear Jesus in their language. And the Jesus film is basically the Gospel of Luke in film form. It's kind of obvious. It is what it says on the tin. And so, like I said, we're translating all the time so that every single language on earth can hear Jesus. Every single person on earth can hear Jesus in their language. So this week is momentous for us. After 40 years of work, we announced our 2000th translation this week. We're so excited about that.
2000.
Yeah. So the Jesus film has been, it's now in the language of Zoe. Did you even know there was a language?
Never even heard of it.
So in Burma and I think northwest Burma and northeast India, and I'm sure that in other places, there are peoples who speak the language of Zoe, and they now, I'm sure no film has ever been made in the language of Zoe. Now they can access the life of Jesus through the Jesus film in their own heart language. We're so excited about that, Gareth.
Is the aim to make sure that it's in every language in the universe?
Yeah, every single. Yeah, we won't rest until every person on earth can hear and watch the Jesus film in their own language.
How many languages are there in the world?
Oh gosh. Now you're going to test me. I actually don't know the answer to that. I will find out and tell you next week.
I don't either know the answer, but I was thinking I'd like to know, because if you've hit 2000, does that mean that you're, 40% there? Does it mean that you're 2% there? Because I suppose a language is a language. Even if there's two people who speak it in the universe, it's still a language. Yeah. So it's really, really exciting, this, because quite rightly so, you believe, and the team at Agapé, that nobody should be hindered because they can't find the word of God or a film of God in their language. And it's great work that you guys do. And it's probably the end of the event season now, but do keep an eye out on Agapé socials, because there'll be a lot of events next year, presumably with your roaming cinema as well, like you had at Big Church Day Out.
Oh, no. Keep your eyes peeled. We've got new plans, Gareth. We've got new plans.
One thing you can do for next week is to change that clock behind you, because it's saying 10:45, and I was thinking, surely I'm not running that late on the radio. I mean, I know I don't really keep to times, but 10:45, Lesley.
I know I haven't made it to all the clocks. I haven't made it. But Gareth, let me just say for your listeners, they can download the Jesus Film app right now. And if they download the Jesus Film app, they can share the Jesus Film with people that they know. They can, their neighbors might not speak, their first language might not be English, or their friends at work or wherever. They can download the Jesus Film app and they can share the film of Jesus and the life of Jesus with somebody in their own language today.
Can I just check with you, because I've searched? Is it the Jesus Film Project?
Yes.
So that's the one we're looking for. Let me hold it up to the screen so there's no confusion about what we're looking for here. Is that the one there, Lesley? And people can watch this back, of course.
Yes, that's right.
So that is the app that you need to download, Jesus Film Project, and you can watch the film in whatever language you like. Presumably all the 2000 languages are on there.
If they should be on there. We've just announced it this week, so there's somebody that's not, they're not on top of things if it's not on there. I should think
Heads
it's
will
on
roll,
there.
Lesley. Heads will roll.
Heads will roll. They can also follow on Instagram, and it's just Jesus Film on Instagram.
So have a look at this. It is free content, and it's a real significant time today. Well, this week for Agapé UK, 2,000 translations. What massive hard work that must have been, but well worth it. So check them out, download the app, the Jesus Film Project, and of course, look on their website, agape.org.uk. They're on all the socials. Thanks as always, Lesley. You're a blessing.
Thanks, Gareth.